Hi there, I wanted to make this follow-up after my shorts tutorial, these ones. So as I mentioned in that video, yes, I am aware these shorts are ridiculously simple and stupid, but yeah, they're the most basic thing that you can think of, but they're also really comfortable and really wearable and really easy to customize and make your own. So yeah, because they're so basic, like one, you it's a perfect little project for you to get started with sewing if you're new at like cutting and making your own clothes. And two, they're great starting points for other designs, and that's what we call pattern blocks, because they're like building blocks. You can just add different details here and there and build upon it. And yeah, I'm going to give you some examples of how you can do it. So these ones are even shorter than mine. For me, they look like those French knickers or those play suits from the 80s. And I'm assuming here that the waistband is not elasticated. Like you can see here that only the shorts fabric is gathered, but not the waistband. So I'm guessing the waistband is like a bias tape, and the shorts are fastened on each side by those ribbons. And this is Prada, so you know the fabric is probably silk or a really high-end polyester or nylon blend, and the fabric, yeah, it looks like it definitely has a lot more body and looks a little bit crisp. So the fabric drape is just completely different if you compare them to, my bed sheet shorts. But the pattern would be quite similar. So you see, it's not always about reinventing the wheel. Quiet luxury is a thing if you're following the trend alerts from Succession. So these ones by Rick Owens, the description here says these are inspired by classic boxer styles, but they are shorter and the waistband is slightly wider, so it looks more like designer fashion and less underwear. Plus it has all these signature Rick Owens details. The black leather, it's probably like really high end and really soft leather. The extra long drawstrings, the contrasting exposed pockets in white. But yeah, it's still quite simple, but with that kind of edge that makes designer fashion. Because also, like, who's really out there buying real leather boxer shorts? So these by these are a little bit different because they're harem pants. So the pattern would not be the same as my shorts, but the waistband and the amount of volume also looks about the same. So you could adapt my pattern blocks, and instead of having a seam on the crotch, you'd have side seams, so you could also add side pockets. And the other thing about Com that makes them a great example for this video is that if you go to their flagship stores, they'll always have the same classic, more like commercial / wearable pieces. Like for example, when I was studying in Tokyo, every time I would visit their flagship store, they would have the same pleated skirts with the same construction and finishings as we would learn at Bunka Fashion College. And sometimes they would zhuzh it up and it would have a variation with like suspenders, to make them look like rompers. So yeah, working in fashion is rarely about reinventing the wheel, but I do remember feeling like that. Like I remember being on my first job or getting my first bespoke orders after graduating from my first fashion course. And I knew that I didn't like most of the stuff from the local brands in Brazil, but I also didn't quite know how these major brands abroad were coming up with their designs, like what made their designs different or better. So, in a nutshell, I would say that step one, research, like look up pieces that you like, get interested in different fabrics and materials and finishings. Step two is design development. That's when you go and try sketching your own variations of what you found in your research, and also try different color combinations, add different details, and yeah, really flesh out all the ideas that are popping up in your head. This this is the stage to do that, instead of, maybe you already cut all your fabric and then you think like, oh, maybe I should have done this, maybe it would look better like that. Don't do that. It's really sad to change your mind after your fabric is cut. And step three, once you decide on your final design, or a few final designs that you want to try, it's a lot easier if you know these basics that I'm talking about, because then you already know where to start from. And yes, here comes a plug for my mentorship sessions, because I see a lot of aspiring designers trying to jump over all these stages, and from my experience, it never ends well. It comes a point where people will feel really stuck, or second guessing everything they came up with, or for the ones that are going straight to manufacturing, apparel manufacturers make mistakes, like a lot, and sometimes they make some really stupid ones. So it's better not to rely on them completely to figure out what you want to make from a picture and an email. So yeah, if you need more resources, make sure you check my other videos and my blog, or just make life easier for yourself and work with me one-to-one. It will be faster. See you next time.